Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing with some printables in my art journals and having fun. So I'm starting off in my Lifestyle Illusions journal book and just making a really simple background. This is the kind of background I make when I'm not sure what I want to do, but I know I want colour on my page. So I'm just going in with a random assortment of acrylic paints and painting them in lots of threes across my page. Because I'm sort of putting out a very small amount of paint and I'm spreading it out until it's almost dry. So it does not take long for this page to dry. Also because it's quite thin in going on, when I go over another colour, it doesn't really blend with the other colour too much. So I'm not too worried about making brown and muddy messes. So while that background's nice, it is a bit patchy, and one of the ways that you can bring that together is to do some stenciling over the entire piece to sort of help bring it together, and it gives you almost like a stained glass effect. So to do that, I decided I wanted a really bold geometric stencil over the top. This one is a Crafter's Workshop stencil by Julie Balzer. I've got a feeling it's from 2020. I have no idea what it's called, but if you check up on their website you will find it. It's fairly easy to recognise. It's just got lots of different shapes on it, and I just really like the flow of it, and I've just turned my stencil upside down to go across the next page. So it's the same stencil, it's the same images, but they've just been reversed a little bit. The fact that I've got that funny gap in the middle I'm not too concerned about, because I know my printable is probably going to go over that area, and you can see right there that's where I chose to put it. So this is just printed out into normal computer paper. It's from a pack from Michelle Grant Creations, which is an Australian artist. The image itself is designed by Tammy Klinghaver. I can't remember, I'm sorry Tammy K. The details will be in the description box below on how to get that. But it's just a wonderful pack. It's called Bonkers, and it's just got these amazing different images in it. And the great thing about these packs are that it's already resized for you. So there's large A4 size images. The same ones have been reduced to A5, which is half the A4 size, and A6, which is half again, which is sort of a card shape size. So obviously if you're clever with things, that you can resize it to whatever size you want, but for me it's just as easy to have someone else have done it, and I can just print it out. There's also pattern pages and so on, so you get a lot in the package, and I can't remember how much it cost, but it didn't cost all that much to do. So while I was thinking about what I was going to do with my image, I decided to do some white line work on my stenciling. And while this is a little bit time consuming, I have sped this up a lot. It's lots of fun and it's very relaxing. It's almost like doodling. So, you can have a movie going in the background, a music going in the background, or a podcast, and just, be playing around with your pens. You don't have to think very much to do it because it's all stenciled out for you. You're just putting the marks over the top. And by putting the white on it, it just makes a huge difference to it in the end. So to colour in my image, I decided I was going to use my Posca paint pens and some watercolours as well. And I found it worked really well. I was a little bit hesitant to use the watercolours on here to begin with because it's not the best paper, it's just printer paper. I did print it out using a laser printer, and that made a huge difference because it's got that toner on it. It acts almost as a resist, so you can actually be quite sloppy with your watercolouring, and it's not going to go out over the edges, which is really, really handy. The good thing about having the acrylic paint with the Posca paint pens too is that kind of acts as a resist as well. You've just got that little bit of layer of sealed paper that the watercolour is not going to seal into. By having the Posca paint pens too, you've got that really solid opaque colour versus sort of the lighter watercolour. And because I'm working in quite small areas, you've got that detail of the pen rather than a brush, because I'm not brilliant with brushes. The reason I'm not using anything like a Copic marker is because, one, I'm not very good with Copic markers. I do have quite a few. I like the colours, but then I struggle with using them. And 2, they would bleed out on this paper. So if you had the right paper and you've printed it out on the right paper, it would be brilliant. But I just didn't think about it when I was doing this, because I was just caught up in the moment. So as you can see, this is it's colouring in. That's all it is. It's, you know, adult colouring in, but it's fun. And, you know, you can make it as much or as little yours as you would like. I'm still going. I keep thinking, oh, I'll only put out a few pens, and I do suggest possibly you do this. I have to limit myself to how many pens I use, because I've got all of mine sitting in front of me. I've got an unlimited amount, so sometimes I just pick some colours first, put them out, and they are the only colours I am allowed to touch. Because I do get a little carried away sometimes. So the watercolours I'm using are these Jane Davenport watercolours. This is her Brights set, which is one of my favourites. That pink on there is just gorgeous. It's kind of like an opera pink, if you've come across that before. But you can see it's sort of really easy to put in the colour. I've painted straight over that turquoise, and then I was just able to blot off the excess paint over the top. So, you know, you don't have to be very precise, which is really wonderful, because sometimes it is really difficult to be precise when you're doing these things, especially if it's quite fine. But I find that, you know, I can just sort of slap on the paint and it's all good. I then changed palettes. I think this is her Neutrals palette, just to get that sort of skin tone in there. And paint that in as well. I wasn't originally planning to paint the entire piece, but I just got carried away and I actually really liked how it looked. One of the final things that I'm going to do is to go around the outside of my image with a, this is, I think I used a indigo ink tense pencil, just to push my image out from the background. And again, this makes a big difference to how it sort of looks in the end. So by just having a sketchy line around it and then using my water brush to blend it out a little bit, you can see it really pushes that image forward, because it is such a busy background. She is so brightly coloured that you do want to have that little bit of contrast. And I've got a little moment here where I'm sort of sitting thinking, do I want to add anything else to this or not? And I'm still not sure about that. Usually on big pages like this I put a big quote, but I actually just really liked that as is. It was bright, it was happy, I had fun, it did what it needed to do. It was a relaxing way to spend an evening, so that's what I did. I left it as is. So if you would like to find out more about Michelle Grant's printables, check out my description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was helpful to you. Until next time, bye for now.